Really? Nodding, I trail my eyes over Noah's faint, delicate script. Contrary to my expectations, the diary contains only basic information. The date, the weather, what you have to eat that day. I think I'm looking for a day of a werewolf for Bell Tower incident. I found myself searching for the day she walked in me and Ringo. Desperate to know what she wrote about that. My heart is thumping and I feel my cheeks growing hot. Anyway, for the dates, I approach that day. What's up? She got a curse or something written in there? What kind of joke is that? Book curses are a thing. In the Middle Ages, people wrote curses as part of a colophons in their manuscripts. Time books were extremely expensive. Rika-kun regards the book in my hand fearfully. Just feel cursed. That said, there isn't a single bad word written against me. However, a rating shaky. Knowing, let's hope and get this over with. Must have been shocked by the sight of us about to kiss. Waving handwriting eloquently conveys her inner turmoil. Sight of it makes me feel like a hand is reaching into a chest. Take my heart into my heart and squeeze. This is a date. Starting with a date of a werewolf or bell tower, scan through a sentences written there. Date, weather, breakfast, lunch. Numerous facts, conversations, friends of the council. She wrote about going out at night. At night, unable to fall asleep, I left my room. Before I stared up at the stars peeking out from between the clouds. But sleep still wouldn't come. For a long time I simply gazed at my reflection from head to toe. Voice echoes along the room, as though having originated from somewhere else. The reverberations died out, replaced by a silence that brings out with it the chill of winter. That alone isn't enough for an alibi. Really? Does it say anything about her attacking Ringo-san? Sure, it doesn't say she did, but it doesn't say she was out of her room at the time. It does say that she was out of her room. It would be one thing she'd written the exact time or recorded but she bumped into someone. No strikeout, huh? Okay, no, it's disappointing. I really think we should be leaving. No need to worry. But I am worried. This might be a dumb Mother Katabami in nighttime patrols. Yes, there was that time when she was interrupted at a midnight tea party with Sasaki's. What did you say? Huh? Well, that's about Rika-kun. You said you were worried, and then? Oh, we haven't had any midnight tea parties for a while now. No, never mind that. What I said about being worried? What about dumb Mother Katabami's nighttime patrols? Sudden flash of inspiration. That's right. Dumb Mother Katabami patrols the dorms at set times every night. You and Suoh really do make a great pair. You're excellent assistants. My friend wrote in a diary could prove to be your undoing. Thanks, Rika-kun. Thanks to you, I might be able to save Neri. Before I have to put that into action, tell them a story by dumb Mother Katabami. What? Bow my head deeply to a braided girl, blinking confusedly at me. Use my camera to take photos of Neri Komikada's diary. Then, using my authority as present, I arranged for a meeting with Council of Nicaea. A meeting will take place tonight, after we've purified ourselves in a bath and said our prayers. Like at a meeting where my best friend sacrificed herself, we also summoned Sister Basket to attend. Everything has to be exactly the same as that night. Pausing my tracks, I stare over a school building shrouded in darkness. There's a tangible difference between the chilly autumn and colder winter. The autumn coolness has seeped in gently into the soles of my feet, slowly freezing my insides, but winter adds a sting to it. The frigid air has an edge to it too, like sharpened blade or fine sword. Its frosty touch feels sharp as a razor against my skin. Still, it's a perfect environment for thinking clearly. I prefer winter to summer. I don't deal well with heat. Normally gets all gross and humid. And the cool clarity of winter brings... To get to my thoughts in order before I reveal my reasoning to Iznik. We're about to have the thought scene. Now then. Not looking to reveal the culprit behind my werewolf. My goal is to prove Niraneka Mikado's innocence. There are two pieces of evidence I found with Suoh and others I'm going to point to in order to prove she was not at the scene. But first, Neri was in the dorms when Ringo was assailed. I know that because the dorm mother did not see her. We know that for certain. She wrote in the diary she was looking at her reflection. Reality partner top. The reality partner said she wasn't in the room. She wrote in a diary she was looking into reflection. And the second, proof Neri did not go to chapel. Again, reality partner doesn't prove that. The path was muddy. Again, that doesn't really prove anything. The lack of footprints. Yeah, there was only one or two pairs of footprints, weren't there? The shower of early winter cold helped my thoughts along, enabling me to put together parts and prove my best friend has falsely confessed. The last glance at the school building, I made my way into the belly of a beast. Once more, onto the breach. I calmly survey the room, all eyes were on me. Suspicion is plain to see on the face of the council members, while Sister Basket has been looking bewildered. My gaze crosses over to them, Solana None Kamikado's sorrowful countenance. From the way her gaze flits around the room, I can tell she's not planning anything like last time. Bowing deeply to them, I apologise for a sudden summons. Even without looking into their eyes, I can practically feel their unease on my skin. I've gathered you here today to talk about nothing less than a werewolf or bell tower incident. Raising my head, I'm faced with exactly the looks I expected to see. Troubled, suspicious, confused. This Kamikado's already... None Kamikado did not do it. My tone is as composed as ever. Make my declaration, but there's a weight to my words. Everyone feels it. I can practically see the question marks forming above their heads. What do you mean? Just what I said. Sister Basket. None Kamikado did not assault Ringo Sasaki. We move up. Nero staring at me, but there's a bitter tinge to her gaze. But Vice President Kamikado admitted to herself what she did. That admission was an act of self-sacrifice on her part. While I admired her Christian piety, you can go too far at times. I did it! No, you didn't. You weren't even anywhere near the chapel. Looks a bitterly repentant. I don't want to see that expression on her face. Could you explain? As explained to you when we were all here last, there was no evidence of any footprints at the scene. None from either victim, Ringo, or the supposed assailant, Neri. My part had been forgotten since last time, and Neri's explosive confession and resonant motive had rendered all the other details moot. That's certainly odd. That's because, after I pushed her, I waited for Sasaki-san to leave. When I raised our prince, I thought they might give away, but it was me. And how did you do it? Looks daunted by my blunt questioning. There's a brief pause as she racks her brains for a rebuttal. I used a tree branch. She goes on to say how evidence of a struggle was only seen directly in front of a chapel, where bare earth was sodden from the rain. She claims to walk backwards from there, scouring the prints with a stick until she reached a lawn. Consider the location of a muddy patch in front of a chapel. The distance from there to a lawn is certainly possible. After that, I went straight back to the dorms. Looks like everyone's bought an explanation for a lack of prints. I mean, it does make sense looking around at the audience. I can tell what they're thinking. Are you satisfied now? Yes, I see that too would solve the mystery of missing footprints. It probably is just as you explained. However, all you explained is how the footprints were erased. It's still covering for someone else. She inhales sharply. Thinks I'm going to reveal the name. We didn't erase the footprints. Wait, Yuzuriha. It wasn't because you're trying to get rid of your own. You wanted to erase the tracks of a wild animal. She's been expecting me to reveal a girl's name, so now stares at me blankly. An animal? Yes. I spoke last time about the animal students have been feeding, didn't I? You raise a creature's prints and your own at the same time. The room is in a state of confusion. After all, I'm saying it doesn't exonerate Neri from a crime. Hey, now starts the impetus behind the incident was Neri's being discovered feeding the animal. But this, combined with jealousy, led her to perpetrate the crime. I still have to explain the preceding stages to them. Suppose I should explain the culprit's motive. Actually, says Basket, if I recall correctly, your hobby is gardening. Yes. How does that relate? A wonderful hobby. My hobby is photography. Mostly landscapes, although I'm not very good at it. With this, I pick up a camera I brought along with me. Which I get a great shot though. Would you mind taking a look at it? No, I wouldn't mind, but... Yuzuriha, please. Maybe it was wrong of me, but I took this in someone's room. Your room, Neri. Turn on my camera, cycling through a photo I took in Neri's room. My room, but you never came by. You didn't know. Oh, Master Lockpick. No, you're... This is your diary, isn't it? I show her a screen. Her gasp confirms to everyone it's true. President! What? President Yatsushiro. Whether they are your friend or not, going to someone else's room without permission is not acceptable behaviour. I agree, but I had no choice. No choice but to commit an immoral act. It's the only way I could prove my best friend's innocence. You must understand why I sought out her diary. Realising I'm implying I was in order to prove it or disprove an alibi for a diary incident, Sister Basket forced silent, and the other council members also swallow their words in criticism. On the day of a werewolf and bell tower incident, she wrote the following in a diary. The final line of that day is, at night, unable to fall asleep, I left my room. For a while, I stared up at the stars, peeking out from between the clouds. The sleep still wouldn't come, so for a long time I simply gazed at my reflection from head to toe. Is that all? Nodding. Yes, no, if it's indeed her writing. Yes, it is, but what? What's this diary really prove? It's true it doesn't say anything about going to a chapel, but that doesn't amount to proof I didn't do it. Just now, she stated she did indeed act as written in her diary, yes? Or speaking directly to my friend, I addressed Sister Basket of the council. Yes. Yes. This proves she was not at a chapel at 11:30 PM, at a time Ringo was assailed. What are you talking about? With the diary states you left your room around the middle of the night, is that right? So Stargazer and I went to a chapel after making sure everyone else was asleep. And when did you look at your reflection? I was about to check my appearance before going out. I prepared head to toe again, voicing my voice travelling through a frigid air to reach every corner of his neck. You checked your reflection from head to toe. And where was that? Where in the dormitories would you find a mirror big enough to see your entire reflection? Do you know? I don't know. There are smaller mirrors in the bedrooms and bathrooms, but aren't full length. You can only see your upper half. Having this inconsistency pointed out to him, everyone's suspicions gauges once again converged on Neri. That's there is one in the lobby. Lobby? There's Yatsushiro. Aren't any mirrors in the lobby? No, it is one. Or at least an impromptu alternative. With that, I take a step towards the door. Please take a look at the window. When I'm following or pointing to the window, everyone's faces are hazy reflected in the glass. It is a reflection, but still, that doesn't mean... Oh no, you can hardly call it a mirror, however. That's my camera on so I can see the video I took. It says I demonstrated from Suoh when I investigated the shapeshift of the dorms. The video shows the aquarium lit from within. And it shows what happens when the lights in the tank are turned off. With the lights off, my face stands out in sharp relief against the inky black gas. There's an aquarium in the lobby, a vertical one, which pretty much transforms into a full-length mirror when the lights are off. Neri, is this your reflection you were talking about, isn't it? Yes, it is, but my audience must think I'm trying to drive into a corner with these questions about mirrors and reflections. No, it's not my intention. My leading questions were all designed to get to say what she was just admitting to. The basket. Did you know the fish sleep? Yes, I learnt it from Domo Katabami. That makes things easier. You see, tropical fish need rest sleep too. In order to make sure they sleep in line with their natural cycle, the lights are turned off. No, the sun goes down, but at a fixed time each day. My audience is still passing with camera around it with watching videos that continue. In this way, we're able to make the fish go to sleep at a time convenient for us humans. For example, having someone come out and turn the lights off during their nightly patrol of the dorms. My friend's a smart one. It looks like some of my other sharp-minded classmates have also cut and done. Best looking between us in confusion. Domo Katabami takes care of her fish. As Council of Nicaea members know, she makes a nighttime patrol of the dorms at 11:30. Oh, then, yes, she goes straight from her room to the lobby. Lights for the tank are turned off just after 11:30 PM. No way. What's my tone and expression to remain mercilessly emotional? I'll keep going. Ringo was assailed at 11:30 PM, so it would have been impossible to have used the fish tank as a mirror before then. Silence descends on his neck. My best friend chewing on a lip, her brow furrowed, clearly trying to come up with some sort of rebuttal. Alright, I looked into the fashion tank and I've come back from the chapel, so... I spoke with your roommate and Amity partner. Remember you got back to your room just before midnight. You're saying you attacked Ringo at chapel, waited for you to leave while dragging you into the leg, raised your footprints, and then went back to your room? Not possible. Without giving you time to refute me, I addressed the crowd. Naruneka Mikado is covering for someone. Yes, for Domo Katabami. Biggest commotion yet ripples across the room. Glancing at Neri out of the corner of my eye, she is staring back at me with an expression of disbelief. Before we realised we were talking about whether she raised her own footprints, I suggested she'd been actually scribbling her own prints of a wild animal. Launching the story of what really happened when the rumours of Wendigo were turning around. Somehow a group of students had cared for an injured raccoon, George and Mother Katabami had taken over, and Walls meant she had to release it back into her forest but not fully healed. And out of kindness she kept returning to her forest. Look at Sister Basket, give me is painful. Before I promised to keep it to myself, but I need someone to take the fall. I that someone big Mother Katabami would lead to the least possible fallout. Seeing the character of her, plus I'd already run it by her and received her understanding. No, that's not. Are you saying that Domo Katabami assaulted Sasaki-san? No, not at all. It was a raccoon. Ringo knew that Domo Katabami had been leaving food for it near the chapel. Unfortunately, it just so happened the raccoon jumped out at her. She was waiting for me to startle her, causing her to twist her ankle. I thought she was knocked over. Ringo never said about herself, just said she was freaked out after seeing a hairy beast. They're saying she mistook a raccoon for a werewolf? Poor John were telling her it's just my own conjecture. Since she used Domo Katabami in feeding a raccoon, when nurse asked her how she was injured, I don't think Ringo could bring herself to blame raccoon, so instead she reached out for a supernatural explanation. So hers was acts of self-sacrifice too. Secretary murmurs, but I shake her head and tell me there's more to the story. Things don't add up if everyone was actually acting out of good intentions. Pinch of malice up believability. I think she thought she could use the story and attack to benefit herself. Perhaps she thought if people believed she'd been attacked by some monstrous creature, she would gain a lost social standing. She wouldn't. You can't deny that after hearing about her injury, people stopped ostracising her. Everyone, including the upstanding council secretary, falls silent. After all, even if it wasn't intentional, it was they who blamed her in the first place. And suppose the explanations of a student body, by showing that we're content of placing blame, our council would create an atmosphere where it's okay to shun her. They're discerning enough to understand that it's their fault she's driven to a lie. Neri heard the details of the incident from me, and having worked out the truth, she chose to take the blame for it herself. I go on to say she was afraid Ringo's lie was discovered. She would once again be treated coldly. That's the truth behind the werewolf of Bell Tower incident. When I finished telling him everything, silence reigns over his neck, and he was shaking sounds of the occasional rattle of the icy wind shaking windows. That's enlightening. It says President Yatsushiro explained, isn't it? They remained silent, as if she answered, she'd be forced to lie. I take your silence as affirmation. But well, that means Door Mother Saki-san, Door Mother Kadabami, and Vice President Kamikado all lied with best intentions in order to cover people. It's like we're missing dollar riddle. It's like a puzzle centered on an informal fallacy, in which good intentions lead to an apparent overall loss. It's my old-fashioned taste of rubbing off. Says Basket. Would you lift Mary's suspension? Yes, of course. He hasn't committed any wrongdoing. Turns her kindly gaze towards the crowd. We all nod decisively. What do you intend to do about the whole werewolf bell tower incident? Everyone involved was always lying in order to cover for one another. I could not possibly judge them for that. However, I'll have strict words with Door Mother Kadabami about not feeding the wild animals. I've already given a stern warning myself. Is that so? What this incident comes down to then is that Mr. Ringo Sasaki was started by a wild creature outside of a chapel, took it for a werewolf. Is that right? The council member voices their agreement. It's a group of girls with integrity. It wasn't really their fault. They must feel guilty about the part they played in it all. An agreement reached, they all stand and bow their gratitude towards me. Shush. Mary stands down, like toes, guiltily. Looks so frail and impertinent right now, like a butterfly with wings so inquisitively gossamer fine, they could be a mere trick of a light. Like with scenery in a dream, objects that lose their vibrancy and dissolve into grey smoke the moment you reach out to touch them. Like back when we were kids. I remember how she was when she felt ill and withdrew herself. It was just my egotism on my part to think I could protect her. It sounds like it went pretty well. It does sound like that as well. It also sounds like coffee being poured. We'll have to save a drink into next episode. Bye bye.